What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, you are creating your entire future with nothing more than your imagination? What if everything you've ever wanted is not just possible, but inevitable? If you understand this one fundamental truth that most people never discover, stay with me, because what I'm about to share will completely revolutionize how you see yourself and your power to create. Welcome to this profound exploration of your divine creative power. I am deeply honored that you have chosen to be here with me today, for we are about to embark on a journey that will fundamentally alter your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. You know, there was a time in my own life when I believed that my circumstances were fixed, that my past dictated my future, and that I was somehow at the mercy of forces beyond my control. But what I discovered, and what I'm about to share with you, changed everything. It will change everything for you too, if you truly understand it. Let me ask you something deeply personal. Are you enjoying the expansion of your desires? Are you delighting in the very act of wanting what you want? This is not a trivial question. It's actually the key to understanding your entire creative process. You see, when you truly enjoy your desires, when they feel natural and inevitable to you, it means something profound is happening within your consciousness. It means your imagination, your true creative faculty, is aligned with your wish. But when you want something that feels impossible, when you desire something but cannot imagine it belonging to you, those desires become painful, don't they? Here's what most people never realize. That pain, that feeling of impossibility, is not because your desire is wrong or unrealistic. It's because you're experiencing what I call contradictory imagining. You're imagining yourself as someone who wants something, while simultaneously imagining yourself as someone who cannot have it. This internal contradiction is the source of all human suffering, and it's completely unnecessary. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this will transform your life. You are not the physical being you appear to be. You are pure imagination, having a human experience. Your imagination is not some faculty of your mind, it is God Himself, individualized as you. When the Bible says God created man in His own image, it's not talking about your physical appearance. It's talking about your power to imagine, to create through consciousness alone. Think about this for a moment. Every single thing that exists in your physical world was first imagined by someone. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're using to watch this, the building you're in, all of it began as an imaginal act. But here's what's even more profound. Your entire life, every circumstance, every relationship, every condition, all of it is the outpicturing of your habitual imaginal acts. Most people live their entire lives never realizing this. They think they're victims of circumstance, prisoners of their past, or subject to the whims of an external world. But the truth is, you are the operant power in your world. You are the cause of everything that happens to you, not through your actions, but through your assumptions. I remember when this truth first dawned on me. I was struggling with a particular situation that seemed completely beyond my control. I felt powerless, frustrated, and trapped. But then I began to understand what assumption really means. An assumption is not just a thought or a belief. It's a state of consciousness that you occupy. When you assume something to be true, you're not just thinking it, you're being it. Now let me share with you the most practical application of this truth. Every night, as you fall asleep, you have the opportunity to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is the conscious use of your imagination to create your reality. Picture this. You lie down in your bed, and instead of reviewing the day's problems, or worrying about tomorrow's challenges, you enter into an imaginal scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. You don't imagine the process of getting what you want. You imagine having it. You don't imagine yourself hoping or trying or working toward your goal. You imagine yourself already being the person who has achieved it. The secret is not in the vividness of the scene, though that helps. The secret is in the feeling. Can you feel the reality of your imagined state? Can you feel what it would be like to be the person who has what you want? This feeling is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. But here's where most people stumble. They've been practicing limitation for so long that it has become their dominant assumption. They think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and imagine the same limitations day after day, year after year. Then they wonder why their lives don't change. Your beliefs are nothing more than thoughts you've thought so often that they feel true. But here's the liberating truth. What you call reality is simply your most persistent assumption. If you don't like your reality, assume something different. I once knew a man who had been unemployed for months. He was constantly imagining himself as unemployed, constantly feeling the frustration and fear of not having work. He would wake up every morning and immediately imagine the day ahead as another day of rejection and disappointment. He was unknowingly using his imagination to perpetuate his unwanted condition. When I explained this to him, he understood. That very night, he began to imagine himself as employed, not looking for work, not hoping for work, but actually employed. He would fall asleep imagining himself at his desk, feeling the satisfaction of meaningful work, sensing the security of a steady income. Within 2 weeks he received a job offer that was better than anything he had previously imagined possible. This brings us to a profound realization. There is no objective reality out there that you need to conform to. There is only consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. What you call the physical world is consciousness crystallized, imagination made manifest. This means that every single person in your world is you pushed out. Every relationship, every interaction, every experience is a reflection of your own state of consciousness. When you change your assumptions about yourself, you automatically change your assumptions about others, and they must conform to your new conception of them. Now I want you to understand something crucial about the nature of assumption. When you assume something to be true, you're not trying to convince yourself that it's true. You're not arguing with contrary evidence or forcing yourself to believe something that seems impossible. You're simply dwelling in the state of consciousness that corresponds to your wish fulfilled. Think of it this way. If you wanted to go to New York, you wouldn't stand in Los Angeles trying to convince yourself that you're in New York. You would simply travel to New York. Similarly, if you want to experience a different reality, you don't try to convince yourself from your current state. You simply move to the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire. The beauty of this understanding is that it makes you completely free. You're not dependent on external circumstances to change before you can be happy. You're not waiting for other people to behave differently before you can feel fulfilled. You're not postponing your joy until some future condition is met. You can enter into the feeling of your wish fulfilled right now, this very moment. Here's what I promise you. If you will consistently assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you will persist in this assumption regardless of what your senses tell you, if you will remain faithful to your new concept of yourself, your world must conform to your assumption. This is not a possibility, it's a law. It's as certain as the law of gravity. The question is not whether this will work. The question is, are you willing to be disciplined enough to assume what you want to be true, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise? Most people want to see the change before they believe it. They want proof before they have faith. But I'm telling you, you must believe it before you see it. You must assume it before it manifests. This is the order of creation. Imagination first, manifestation second. This requires a complete reversal of how most people think. Instead of reacting to your circumstances, you must learn to create your circumstances through your imaginal acts. Instead of being a victim of your past, you must become the author of your future. Instead of being at the mercy of the world, you must realize that the world is at the mercy of your imagination. I invite you to test this principle in your own life. Choose something you desire, not something small and insignificant, but something that would genuinely transform your experience. Tonight, as you fall asleep, imagine yourself in possession of this desire. Feel the reality of it. Assume it to be true. And then, no matter what happens in the days that follow, persist in this assumption. But I must warn you, this is not a game. This is not positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is the conscious use of the divine power within you. When you truly understand and apply this principle, you will never again be able to see yourself as powerless or at the mercy of external circumstances. You will realize that you are the God of your own world, the creator of your own experience, the author of your own story. This knowledge brings with it tremendous responsibility. because you can no longer blame anyone or anything else for your experience. But it also brings with it tremendous power, because you can create any experience you choose. So here's my final question for you. Who do you want to be? Not what do you want to have, not what do you want to do, but who do you want to be? Because whoever you consistently assume yourself to be, you will become. Whatever you persistently imagine yourself to be, you will manifest. The choice is yours. You can continue to live by default, assuming whatever circumstances and past experiences have conditioned you to assume. Or you can live by design, consciously choosing what to assume about yourself and your world. Remember, your imagination is not limited by your past, your circumstances, or what others think is possible for you. Your imagination is limited only by what you are willing to assume to be true. I leave you with this truth. You are far more powerful than you have ever imagined. You are the operant power in your world. You are pure consciousness, having a human experience, and right now, in this very moment, you have the power to assume yourself to be anything you choose to be. The question is not whether you can create the life you desire. The question is, will you use your imagination, assume your desire fulfilled, persist in your assumption, and watch as your world transforms to match your innermost convictions about yourself. You are the creator of your reality. It's time to start creating consciously. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to take responsibility for your creative power, then I invite you to share your own experiences in the comments below. What will you assume about yourself starting tonight? What reality will you create through the power of your imagination? Remember, you don't need to see it to believe it. You need to believe it to see it. The time is now. The power is yours. Use it wisely.